Tensions between UK and EU is hanging by a thread, could shred it to pieces if Article 16 triggered. Brexit tensions have skyrocketed once more after the European Union warned the UK triggering Article 16 of the Northern Ireland Protocol could rip out the heart of the relationship between the two sides. The UK has been at loggerheads with Brussels over post-Brexit trading arrangements in Northern Ireland, claiming the mechanism currently in place simply does not work. Former Brexit Minister Lord Frost had wanted to overhaul large parts of the protocol, warning if the EU did not move from its stance, then the UK would be ready to trigger the Article 16 safeguard. This allows either side to possibly suspend trade checks between Britain and Northern Ireland if they believe the protocol is leading to serious economic, societal or environmental difficulties. The EU has so far stood strong on its position, warning any move to trigger Article 16 would be met with fierce retaliation, sparking fears of a possible and potentially destructive trade war between the two parties. European Commission Vice President Maros Šefčovič warned the threats from the UK government to pull the trigger on Article 16 are an enormously disruptive element in negotiations. He said, "You try to achieve something together, and, boom, there's the threat of Article 16 again. That goes to the heart of our relationship." Mr. Šefčovič also warned triggering Article 16 of the Northern Ireland Protocol would constitute an enormous setback for relations between the EU and UK. The EU chief claimed the protocol is the most complicated part of the Brexit negotiations and is the foundation of the whole deal, before warning, without the protocol, the system collapses. We must prevent that at all costs. Brussels has threatened to collapse the post-Brexit trade deal if Liz Truss triggers Article 16 of the Northern Ireland Protocol when negotiations resume. Maros Šefčovič, a European Commission Vice President, said the EU would seek to scrap the post-Brexit trade deal if the Foreign Secretary unilaterally overrides the measures designed to prevent a hard border. Ms Truss has already told her EU counterpart she will not drop Lord Frost's threat to trigger Article 16 and remained prepared to suspend areas of the Brexit deal relating to the province if the bloc failed to compromise. The UK's repeated threats to trigger Article 16 are an enormously disruptive element in the negotiations, Mr Šefčovič told a German newspaper in the warning shot to Ms Truss. "You try to achieve something together, and, boom, there's the threat of Article 16 again," he said. "That goes to the heart of our relationship." This would initially have serious consequences for Northern Ireland. In no region of Great Britain is the economy currently developing as well as there. All this would be jeopardised if Northern Ireland lost access to the EU's internal market, and I don't want to imagine the consequences for the fragile peace on the island of Ireland. All this would have serious consequences for EU-London relations. Last month, the European Commission drafted a range of sanctions that could be imposed as a form of retaliation against the UK should Article 16 be triggered. These included punitive tariffs that could be slapped on UK exports to the EU within a month or a suspension of the whole post-Brexit trade deal within 9 months. The UK's Foreign Secretary Liz Truss has now been handed the brief of taking over talks with the EU following the shock departure of Brexit Minister Lord Frost earlier this month. Asked whether he expects the atmosphere of talks between the two sides to improve following their appointment, Mr Šefčovič replied he was pragmatic about the change. The EU chief added, "A successful joint solution with our British partners is more important to me than a great atmosphere." But Mr Šefčovič continued to voice his frustration at the slow pace of talks with Britain. He argued current problems with the protocol, such as the supply of medicine, as well as customs and food checks, should have been solved by now, but is hopeful a resolution is in sight. The EU chief highlighted a regular poll by Queen's University in Belfast which found that, as of the end of October, a majority of voters in Northern Ireland viewed the protocol as positive for the very first time. Mr Šefčovič concluded, "Overall, we are on the right track."